A miracle, no one has been injured on the site so far. Youngsters have removed manhole covers and the building is now extremely dangerous. Newcastle City Council has been planning to sell the land to a developer for sheltered housing. Following today's fire, they say plans are in hand to demolish the school early next week.
Over the past few weeks, we've seen from reports in the Gulf that modern warfare is very high-tech indeed. So far, the war's been fought mainly in the air. And here in the region, the Army Air Corps has just established a new base for the latest in air combat technology. Andrew Friend has been along to see it.
The Ministry of Defence have spent £40 million transforming the former wartime fighter base into the new headquarters. Although the place still resembles a building site, facilities for the service personnel are excellent. Gone the cookhouse of National Service days, now it's the Junior Ranks restaurant. All this is a far cry from the unit's last base down the road at Topcliffe.
We had actually reached bursting point, and the fact that we have been able to arrive in Dishforth and move in very quickly is due in some part to the discomfort we had in Topcliffe. But now we have come to the promised land with mud. The mud, of course, will go away, but we have the facilities and we're really waiting now for spring to arrive and for the place to look nice, as well as being an excellent facility.
But the main business of the base is to house the latest helicopter fighting technology, Lynx aircraft, which carry the so-called tow missile currently being used out in the Gulf, and these are just the start. By the middle of next year, the brigade hope to have a flying unit of around 38 aircraft. And even with the defence cuts proposed in the government's Options for Change programme, the men here believe that they'll have a major role to play in the future.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Whatever shape the British forces are going to be in the future, the helicopter is going to play at least the part that it does now, or even a greater role. So I'm quite confident that we still have a part to play in that force.
Work has officially started on a new science park in the centre of Newcastle, thanks to a government minister and his rather temperamental colleague. The
RAF base in North Yorkshire, there's the promise of hundreds of new jobs and millions of investment. Sheffield students will sleep...
Princess Margaret at Coningsby in Lincolnshire today. Now, one village in the north of our region has just taken on a new military role. Dishforth in North Yorkshire used to be an RAF station, but now it's a home for helicopters from the Army Air Corps, and that should provide a boost for the whole community. The Army say the 3 squadrons of Lynx helicopters will mean several hundred new jobs and a £5 million bonus for the local economy.
For 30 years, RAF Dishforth was one of Britain's busiest air bases. Its airmen were the lifeblood of the local economy. When the station closed down, the nearby town of Borough Bridge lost half its population. But as the recession bites in North Yorkshire, the good old days are coming back. The Army have moved into Dishforth with their Lynx helicopters. Eventually, more than 1,000 men will be based here, they and their families providing a financial boost to the area.
Our wage bill is about £5 million a year, and if you only manage to spend 10% of that in the local economy, there's another £500,000 there that wasn't there 2 years ago.
The arrival of 9 Regiment Army Air Corps has transformed what used to be a derelict military camp. £40 million is being spent renovating accommodation for the Army, building contractors, the first of many local businesses to benefit.
We are a town which have been used to having a military presence. You know, the RAF has been here since before the war, but Dishforth, and you know, when they disappeared a few years ago, it was, you know, I won't say the heart was torn out of the town, but we certainly felt the loss of them.
But North Yorkshire will pay a price for military investment. The base's 38 anti-tank helicopters specialise in low flying. The Army promised they'll minimise the disturbance their training flights cause, but some is inevitable.
It's very difficult. These machines move at 2 miles per minute. In their tactical role, they have to be used low level, and I mean ultra low level, that's 10 to 20 feet from the ground. You can imagine, even with the best will in the world, coming across livestock just over a hedge boundary or just over the next hill sometimes happens.
Dishforth is part of the 24 Air Mobile Brigade, the Army's response to Glasnost. As NATO pulls back from the Rhine, more emphasis is being placed on flying in reinforcements from Britain at short notice. With other parts of the army facing a 25% cut in manpower, Dishforth at least should be immune.
We have invested in the army a lot of money in Dishforth. We have invested money in new helicopters for Dishforth. And no matter who the personalities are, 9 Regiment will be here and will remain here.
But with some Army Lynx helicopters already poised for action in the Gulf, their stay at Dishforth may be shorter than they think.
A new home for the Army's mobile unit. Meanwhile, students in Sheffield will tonight find out what it's like